I am super excited. We are finally back here in deer hunting camp. The game got an update about a week and a half ago, tweaked a couple of things. It did add a new map, and we actually won't be heading to that new map today. We're going to go back to PSR Pines, and we'll just call this new campaign Pines. It was just really a great map for us, and I did try, full disclosure, the new Saskatchewan map, and it just felt like we didn't see nearly as many deer. So the goal today is $6 in 6 days. If we're gonna do that, we gotta see a lot of deer, 3 archery hunts, 3 rifle hunts, and some of you guys wanted to see more of the property management and scouting stuff, so we'll be doing that today as well. So first things first, a quick look at the layout of the map, and I think it's why it's such a good map. One big food plot way in the north. There's one major draw for the deer. I think that is the primary thing. So we are gonna go with a soybean plot because that worked well for us. It's the shortest of the 3 crops, wheat, corn, and soybeans. You can see over them, you can see deer better in them. I think for us, that is going to be the best option. Now, something that I learned pretty recently is that you can actually see it where you've planted. It's not super obvious, but if I get out here, we just planted this tiny little section. See how the ground looks a little bit different? The soil is a lot more kind of like darker brown, like untilled, versus this, which is the planted area. So it's going to make it nice. We're not going to be doubling, tripling over the same area over and over again. Kind of reduces planting time, because before I was just using the map and kind of hoping we covered everything. So we're looking pretty good. Maybe a tiny bare spot there, I can't tell. We'll go back and hit that. And also, you'll notice I'm not doing anything with trail cams, tree stands, any of that, until we get to see where the deer trails are. So just go over that one more time just in case. Should be good. And we'll advance to scouting. And always the first thing I do is pull up the map, and we can see the deer trails. Now, on this map, because of the pines, the pine color on the map is the same as the deer trails, but I can see them crisscrossing across there, and I'm betting both lead to that plot. We just gotta find them. Something I noticed recently, though, just take note of the beam running across the top of the shed here, and we'll come back to that. But now that we have deer trails, we can grab a stand, throw it on the UTV, and let's go and see if we can find a spot those trails can be. Oh, I just saw the thing I wanted. That is an awesome shed from a really good buck, and I still have no idea if it means there is a good buck out there, and when we go back you'll see what I'm talking about. So for one, these deer trails cross here, and before we do anything else, I'm going to leave a camera here because these are really good spots to have cameras, obviously twice the opportunity to catch deer on them. Let's back that up a little bit more just so we can see a bit more of the trails, and that'll be a marker for us too, so I'm going to follow these out. And this one actually kind of skirts the edge of the plot there, so that's probably fine. Let's go ahead and hang a stand. I think it'll be above that little sapling. Yeah, no problem. Good view of the plot. Trail comes literally right underneath it. I think that should work just fine. So we'll go back and get another stand and also track the other deer trail backwards. So there's kind of 2 trails here. I don't know if this is going to work that well. We're going to stick a camera right about here. That should get anything real close to this one. And then also this one over by the UTV. As we come back for our other stand here, what you might notice is the shed we found is hung up here. And I don't know how many of the max you can find is, but I have a screenshot from when I was testing out the Saskatchewan map. And I found a ton of sheds. Not a lot of deer, but a lot of sheds. And it looks really cool. By the way, just kicked the doe. Actually, a couple of does out from the far end of the plot, and I think for that reason, I may go and grab a stand and put it on that side. What I'm seeing as far as this other trail, it actually veers off kind of back that direction, but we know the food's going to be a draw, so over where those deer were, that seems like a good idea. The only thing we do have to be careful about, I haven't had this happen yet, but I've seen it on like Steam reviews. If you shoot a deer that jumps the fence, they're gone. So I'm going to just put this right here, and if we shoot one from this stand, it better drop. Nice fork in this deer trail. Guess there's not a lot of point having the camera behind the fork. Let's do it like this. That way we catch them walking from both directions towards it. Is it? No, it is a fork in it. So if we do it something like this, walking down either branch will catch them, or if they're walking down this way to a branch, they'll walk right past it. Oh, there's another shed, by the way. Good deal. And you can actually find those in hunting season too, so we'll be on the lookout for that. But now you see we have 2 of them. We'll grab our last stand, and that fork in the deer trails is exactly where it's going. Feels like that tree right there might be perfect. Got to back up the UTV, otherwise it's going to load it back up. But it's off the trail by a couple of yards, so maybe we're not shooting things directly underneath us. Climb up there. View looks pretty good. Anything we shoot's going to be on trail camera. I think, especially in rifle, because we can kind of still hunt around, we're going to give this spot a try. But let's finally get on to the first day of archery. And the way that we kind of do this, we take the UTV about halfway there. Oh, kicked up a doe. Go figure. But just park it in like this old dry creek bed thing on the road. Doe's running towards the plot, so we'll see how that goes, and we'll kind of slow walk our way in. By the way, if you're on PC, Q makes you do this slow walk, which does limit how much deer are going to spook from it. I wouldn't be surprised if she stops right by. I'm not planning on shooting does today, but if that's all we can get in a particular day, we'll fill a tag that way. That's a buck. Didn't take long to get on that, and that's what I'm talking about with this map. Like maybe a 120-ish? But it just feels like, because there's one big plot, you end up seeing most of the deer at some stage, and hopefully that guy'll jump on this trail, swing around this way, and drop right by. Got another deer sneaking in here already. Wonder if that's the doe we spooked. She's kind of going right past that stand. That's something to always pay attention to as well. I didn't see a trail coming in there, but maybe there really is, and if that's the case, even this hunt, we might want to end up over there, but we'll see what this buck does. Got another deer coming in finally. Looks like a younger buck, but if he follows this trail, we might just go for it. We're getting decently late in the day, and I will take antler any way we can get it. He's kind of veering towards the trail now, so that's a good sign. The other thing I'm going to do is get the grunt call equipped. Something's setting off the... Oh, the doe's right in front of the trail camera. That's going to be that. Just come this way. It's not really what I wanted. We know at least when they're close. You can use the grunt call to stop them. That's why I wanted to equip it. He might... I don't know. Is he going to turn our way or go the other way? A little trot across. Might not follow the deer trail at all. Oh, it's a bigger bodied deer. That's that 120 buck, but he is going the other way. It's just late in the day to... If that young buck keeps going this way, he's going to get close enough, and I think we'll go for it. I hate to let the other one get away, unless he really shows he's going to move at us. Which at least he made a little bit of a loop, but... I don't know, do we risk? That's a long shot anyway. Like, I would imagine that's 40 or so. I don't think I'd want to take that. Well, he's scooting on in here. I hope he does it. Oh, trotting. Let's get that ready in case we're going to stop him. I think we might go for this regardless of range. Let him get a little further. That's going to... Oh, it's going to be pushing it. I was going to stop him on the road. It's just a little further than I'd like to shoot. I think if he just keeps going on that angle, we can stop him if we need. We should be okay to do this. He's not really on a trail. Although maybe he's going to hit this one and follow it out. Let's go ahead and stop him there if we can. That's what we want. Maybe before he moves. I think we got him. Made a weird sound. Oh, not what I wanted. I'm kind of unsure. See if he goes down. He's not crashing just yet. I don't love that. Oh, just went down. Good deal. All right. We're like pushing it here. This actually is why I bring the UTV like decently close to our stand. Because when you get down to the wire like this, the 30 seconds or so it might take longer to go and get to the UTV can be the difference between getting the thing back and not. There's a little bit of blood, I think. Now it's a pine cone. Is there any blood? Oh yeah. Plenty by the end here. Not too bad. So first buck is going to be a 120-ish 8-point. And considering just a couple minutes ago we were about to shoot a 4-point, I will take that. Breathing heavy and everything. And I don't know how many times I'll say it, but I've never played a hunting game that replicates that helpless feeling you get in real life, especially in archery season, where it's just, you're at the mercy of the deer. Do they come in? or do they go a different way? Luckily that time, he came in. So we'll go ahead and get him loaded up. Get a quick look at him in the back of the UTV. Solid looking 8-point, but that basic frame we've seen plenty of times. And we'll buzz him back. Have a little time to take a look before the session ends. Got our sheds up there, as you can see. Go ahead and park this here and get him on the gambrel stick. Right about 150 pounds, comes in at 148 and 120 inches. Not too bad for our first one of the season, and let's hope we can get 2 more in archery. I feel great about our odds in rifle season. It's archery that matters, and I think this climbing stand might be used this next hunt. I didn't love where we were at. And I don't know, this could be a massive mistake, but we can get down and move to one of the other stands if we have to. Right in here was where that doe was hanging around for a long time. She was right in front of the trail cam, and the trail cam is right there. So, we'll see. Oh, got a deer already. Again, this map just tends to do that. A little doe cruising through. It almost makes me... The thing is, the only spot that buck went that we could have shot was the stand we were in. But all the other deer are kind of favoring this side. Oh. That's some big antler. Where the heck did he come from? Ooh, man. I'd love to get like a good buck with a bow. That is a good buck. Come on. Somehow just end up here. Now I hate that we're in this climbing stand. Oh my goodness. Nice wide set 10. Jump in the fence. That is sweet. Oh, we gotta keep that fence in mind too. Let's see what he does. I'm still not sold that the grunt call does much for attraction. Now we saw you can use it to stop deer. He's heading towards that other stand. If he like jumps the other fence, I'm getting out and going straight to the other spot. He's actually kind of facing our way. If somehow this happens, out of this climber, he's kind of spinning back around entirely, but I don't know, maybe there's a chance. That's a nice buck. He may actually just go and jump the fence. Like I said, if he goes to leave, I'm going to a place that I know there's a deer trail. And he's hopping the fence. That might not be a terrible thing, because it may give us that chance to move. By the way, there's a doe right there. Kind of shows you that slower walking thing. It's about as good as crouching, or obviously like even better. I would like to think he hasn't seen us then, but let's get in the stand, and I like that she's right in front of the stand. If only. I saw this buck too, right before we jumped down. He was over there kind of where the big buck disappeared to. So maybe that's a good sign. Maybe this spot's not that bad after all. The doe is here, this little guy's here. Just need that big, I think it was a 10-point to come in. I don't even know if that's the same little buck. I didn't pay a lot of attention. Just swinging back through here, and I don't know what happens. Like, where the big buck was, the northern border of the property, I don't know if they just hang out there. I don't know if they kind of spawn elsewhere on the map. I feel like that might be the case. So I'm really trying to keep an eye on trail cams just in case he hits one of these other trails. Well, this might be the most bummed I've ever been to see it get dark. Even if we got a shot now, I don't think we get him back to the camp, and there's no sign of him. I don't really think we spooked him, who knows, but I just hope somehow, like, we get to see him later on the season. I don't know if that's even a thing, but I think we can pretty well call day 2 of archery season a bust. Therefore, no 6 bucks in 6 days this season. So on the bright side, that is the first time we've seen a big buck in archery season, so I guess that's an improvement. Would have loved to have gotten a shot. Just spooked a 120 right behind our stand. That's awesome. Maybe if we slow walked in, we might have been okay. They don't run very far away, by the way. The negative side, we've never seen more than 1 big buck in a season. Now, in both cases, we harvested it. So, you know, hard to say what that could potentially mean. That deer just spawned in. That's why that buck appeared there last hunt. So they must spawn, like, very early on in the session. It's actually good to know, because I kind of wondered how that happened. I haven't seen this before. Well, hopefully he figures it out and comes in, or maybe somehow the big one comes back, but I kind of think it's probably random bucks or deer in general every session. There's a doe down there. By the way, I think it's that very same buck we spooked. He's kind of sneaking in our way. If he ends up in bow range, which right now he's kind of veering out of way, but he maybe will hit that trail, we'll definitely go for it. Like I said, I kind of think that wide 10 is maybe not gone forever. Maybe we'll see a similar frame down the road, but that particular buck, probably we're not getting a shot at. Just gotta hope there's another big one down the line. So that guy, I really think we might get a crack at him. Gonna keep the grunt call equipped should we need to stop him. If he just continues on that exact path, I think we'll get a shot right on the deer trail. That was something I was worried about. See if we can stop him right on the trail. That's about what I wanted to do, however, he didn't stop. Actually gonna get way closer. Gotta be careful of those tree branches. I think this should be perfectly fine. Oh, that was a much better sound. Hit him right like center of the ribcage. You can actually see it as he runs off. So we can watch him crash because we know this time he's going to. Right on the road. No dragging necessary. Man, you know, really wish we didn't mess with that climber stand. I do think there must be a trail that I missed that comes in there, because this doe, which by the way didn't even spook, came from the same spot the other doe came from that we set up there to begin with. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't think we spooked that buck because we had snuck past that other doe. But man, 2 for 3 in archery, and like I said, I feel great about our odds in rifle. 2 solid bucks. See if we can get one with better headgear. Tell you what though, doesn't get a whole lot easier than that. Plenty of time left in this session, but especially for like a 120-ish buck, after seeing, I think, 1 other small buck and 2 does, I feel decently confident we weren't going to see a whole lot more than that. If we go the correct way, that'll help. And for the second time in 3 days, hanging a decent 8-pointer, this time over 150 pounds, here in the shed. So this guy goes 159 pounds, 121 inches, so 1 inch bigger than the last, moving in the right direction. And already we are on to firearm season, and if we see any buck the size of the one we saw before at that kind of range, we don't have to wait anymore. Ooh, that was cool. We just jumped the doe, but I saw her bedded just like a millisecond before she went. And right in the same spot, we jumped that big 10-pointer. I see another deer bedded. In the last video that we ended up shooting on the run. What is that one? That's a doe. I actually was unsure if they did bed. And it makes me wonder then, is that what the buck we saw there in archery did? Just went off, bedded down, and maybe never made it to the plot. Either way, I think we'll go with this same stand. That seems to be the right spot. And one of the changes with the last update was to the 30-06 scope. So I'm going to give you a side-by-side of the two. I'm not even sure it was a change to the scope specifically, but something with the aiming anyway. And I want to see if there's a visual difference. I'm not sure, but I feel like I can see it. I would say that's the doe that we saw bedded, so, you know, potentially convenient to not spook him coming in here. Maybe we should try a different route. There's another deer. Another doe. I don't know where that came from. Maybe that's the one that we jumped up. Well, we're up to 4 does now. There's 2 there. 1 right there in the center of the plot. And the other one may have just left the plot. It was somewhere on the far end. But either way, hope there's still some room for some bucks, but look where they're entering the plot. Like, the camera is where? Somewhere there. There's all the deer. And we were set up, like, right in there. We should have just stayed put. I continue to tell myself it didn't matter. But do I really know that? I don't. By the way, there's doe number 4, so they're all still here. Just need to find some antler. There's a buck, finally. Not exactly what we're looking for. A little forky, but I think, given the circumstances, we'll probably just go ahead and try to get that. First time using the potentially upgraded 30-06 sights. I think they work. Dropped right on the road again. which is awfully convenient. Doe's heading on out of here, at least 3 that we can see. The other one probably went that way. And all but the one day, and of course, we had a buck like this walk under the stand. We were just waiting on that big one. We were able to fill a buck tag. Now, obviously, this time, not the most impressive buck, but it will pretty much guarantee, with 2 days of rifle remaining, we will hit the 400 inches of antler season goal. And it already just feels like it's going to happen. We're going to end up with 5 plaques there and not 6. We shall see, but maybe 140 pounds for that guy. 137, 88 inches. Not the most impressive buck, but got 2 more days of firearms to make something happen. Jumped up a small buck or a doe? Looks like a doe. That's happening pretty much every time. And you may remember that whole thing about hunting down at the other spot where the deer trails crisscross. We're sort of on a mission now to get some level of redemption for that big buck that got away. So we're hunting over our plot, and we're going to hope we can make that happen. I think that's that same doe going, so that's fine. Just saw a deer jump the fence. I didn't see any antler go with it, but let's see. Looking like another doe. Good sign, though. Got another little forky buck, which he's across the fence anyway. Not that we'd probably shoot that this early on, but probably worth knowing he's around. That's kind of got me thinking, though. The second... maybe that's not a forky, is it? It is, but it's probably a slightly better one. I think based on the number of deer we've seen, because there's 2 or 3 does, and 2 forkies now. If this guy comes into the plot, we might go for it. Just based on the odds that I can't imagine there's that many more bucks, if any, around. Now that one's kind of trotting off. He's somewhere over in there now. And really, when we're starting to decide between one forky and the other, I don't know if it makes that big a difference. I maybe heard something. Might have been that squirrel or whatever, so in that case... I can't believe he's running. I think he got stuck on the fence. I'm at least pretty sure we're not going to lose him. It does look like they can run through the fence. They jump over it when they're walking, but we didn't see the doe jump it. Either way, we are for like the, I don't even know, 3rd video in a row, relying on some last day magic, and who knows, like we already saw a good buck. We'll see where that leads. Can we actually go deer? Literally. Where did we hit him the second time? I can't even see, but he was kind of wedged in these trees. He didn't get stuck on the fence. He got stuck here. That's not what I wanted to do. If we just sort of spin around here, can we get him out of there? That'll work. So, not exactly dragging studs out today, but this will be our longest drag by a mile. No way. We just drug him over a shed? Thought I saw something kind of odd there. So, onto the road he goes. Probably shot that earlier in the hunt than I would have wanted to, but we do the right thing. Yeah, we're getting close to halfway through, and like I said, we just had seen so many deer. Kind of had my doubts that there would have been many more opportunities. At least at anything like really better than that. The most bucks I've ever seen in one hunt would be 3. But I don't remember seeing all kinds of does like that. I really don't know how that all works, but it's ultimately a learning experience, and at the very least, this will check off the 400 inches of antler objective. And you can see our 3rd shed up there now. Pretty cool. I'm guessing maybe 6 is the max, just based on how much room's up there. Probably does spawn 6 sheds per season, let's say. That's only like 130 pounds. 85 inches might be the smallest buck we've ever shot. Kind of looks that way, but it did get us to just over 400. And let's see if we have some last day magic in us. Oh, all right, jumped up a doe, jumped up a buck, little buck. It's like the exact same spot we jumped at 160 last time, so I was ready. Oh man, just from the last day luck we've had, every little like sound and stuff. Just hoping it's gonna be A buck like what got away earlier? No luck on that one. That looked decent. And kind of far, but mostly decent. Can we even see what that was? I just saw a big-bodied deer go through there. I was watching that doe. I saw him for a minute. Is there much there in the way of antler? Oh yeah, there is. Oh yeah. That's a big buck. Just keep on working. That might be the biggest buck we have seen in this game. Just keep on working down that trail, and we might have something. Dark, like reddish antlers. He's not too dissimilar from the one we saw in Archery. I think better. And I just don't know what the range of the 30-06 is in the game. We've taken or attempted some long shots, and it doesn't seem like it's super, super great. So we want him to get good and close. He's veering our way. That is great news. Look at that. Huge long tines. God, that's an awesome buck. So he is probably in range now. But if he's going to keep on going, that's even better. It's a good clearing there. That doe's actually bedded there. And I wonder how long he was probably just bedded right behind us. Look at the tines on that. Coming right at us now. You get a great look at like the real estate of that frame. Just keep on doing that. Okay, now he's kind of turning that way. There's plenty of space over here. That might just be what we do. Because I think I like this clearing enough to go for a shot. Did he stop or did he turn? Okay, just stopped. Alright, there we go. Gonna go ahead and move out of there. It's actually coming our way even more, and we will let him if that's gonna be the case. Look at the coloration on those antlers. They're super, like, reddish. That is super cool. Oh, we might get a nice close-up shot. No point rushing it if he's gonna do that. I think we may take the broadside, though, as he breaks down onto the deer trail. He's kind of quartering a little bit. That's fine. Oh. Oh. Just smoked him right there on the deer trail. I cannot believe that. 3 seasons in a row. Last day magic. This time maybe the least likely of them all. Getting a little bit late here. We had some time, but just a nice big, like, reddish antlered 10-point. Super long 3s on him as well. Let's go ahead and do this. One of my favorite things in the entire game. Dragging a big buck out. There's our shot right in the shoulder there, just where we want it. And always the fun task. Go up these little hills and then back down so we can get a full look at the rack. And this is where, like, I'd love to be able to crouch, trophy shots, anything like that would be really, really nice. For now, we get to mess with this and we have some time for it. I mean, that's the shot right there. Got the drag rope around the antlers. Pretty well lit. I think we will be happy with that. Go ahead and drag him back down onto the road here. Probably the best look we've gotten at any buck, and like I said, I think he could be our best. We will soon find out because our UTV is sitting right back here. I mean, even that is a great look. The antler coloration is so good. Gonna go ahead and load him up on the UTV, get a quick look at him there as well. Just love to see that. And it happened, by the way. 5 for 6, I think same as last time, right down to getting our best buck on the final day. And so now with 4 sheds collected this season, we get to pull in here for one final time. Curious what this guy's gonna go for weight. Oh my goodness, like 220 pounds? 152 score, so he's actually not our best. 219 weight, though, I think is our heaviest buck. I love that rack. I think it might be taller than the one that we saw, like, in Archery. I think that one was a lot wider set. Similar, though, like 10-point, reddish, kind of dark antlers. I also think the Archery one maybe wasn't quite so dark. And I'd love to get a buck like that in Archery season. We came close this time. Eventually, we will go 6 for 6, but let's go back, take a look at the eval. I have no doubt, after ending the hunt like that, that'll be an outstanding, which it is. 566 total inches of antler. That is not our best ever, but it's up there. And like I said, I have this goal of getting all 6 here. The only thing is with the food plot acreage, that would be tough, but I think next week, we're actually going to check out Pro Turkey Hunting. It is the turkey hunting game made by the same developer. I'm really excited for that, but no doubt plenty more deer hunting camp to come down the road. I love this game. I want to go 6 for 6, and I really want to get a good, successful creative map going. But anyway, on that note, that's going to do it for this video. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.